Hi friends, I'm Agnelorajesh again here, and I would like to introduce you to a very interesting person from South Africa who is currently with us on board Royal Caribbean cruise liner. We have just left Japan traveling towards Korea, and I would like to introduce you to a very interesting person and a very interesting topic. Meet my friend Leila benelli, and she has authored a book, a very interesting book. Help, my child is driving me crazy. It is something got to do with ADHD. It is something that she will speak about, but it's very important for parents not only in India but all over the world. And what she has written on this, I have not gone through the whole book, but the few pages that I went through and the discussion that I had with her sounds very interesting. She is a very intelligent person, and I'm sure you'd like to hear her views and explanations on what is ADHD. So, Laila, can you get started for my friends?
Hi Agnello, and hi friends of Agnello. I'm very pleased to be talking to you here from the ship, the Legend of the Seas, as we're sailing towards Busan in Korea. It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you, Agnello.
The pleasure is all mine.
Been fascinating and interesting, to say the least. My book, I've decided to write that because attention deficit hyperactive disorder, also known as ADHD, is a big passion for me because my eldest son was diagnosed with ADHD, and since I've discovered that I also have ADHD. And shall I just mention that I have 4 boys?
Oh wow, that sounds so untrue. And I asked her, did you adopt them? So she said, no, I gave birth to all 4 of them. So that's interesting. She had a child marriage, got married at the age of 12. Oh, that's just a joke. She's still 21.
Always.
For the last 10 years. For the last 10 years.
For the last 10 years. Yes. So the book came as a mother being frustrated, not knowing what to do when my child was behaving in a way I didn't understand. And I just know how a mom feels when everything you're doing is not working. And the teachers are constantly complaining, your child is not listening, your child's not doing his homework. And you as a parent are feeling like a failure because you're feeling you're not a good enough parent. And I thought there must be a different way. So for the last 7 years, I've been researching different ways of doing things and working on my personal development as a mom to try and be a better person so that my son can learn from me. And I've really discovered so much about ADHD, and there's really too much to talk about in this little snippet. But the main thing I can give parents is that your child is absolutely 100% perfect. The child does not have a disorder. The child just has a completely different way of learning, a different way of thinking, a different way of doing things. And that, I think, is the most important thing to understand. Accept your child for who he is and love him for who he is and encourage him to do the things that he's good at. And stop focusing too much on this negative stuff. And yes, you're going to say, but they have to go to school, and they have to focus, and they have to learn. All of that, yes. And it's a process. And we are talking about enrolling that into your schools and maybe speaking more to parents. I'm currently doing this back at home where I'm working with the teachers to try and explain to him what a kind of behavior is that they can expect so that the mom can come on board and help. And then the child feels supported and loved, knowing that I'm okay, I'm just doing it differently. And the biggest problems are the child don't want to listen, the child is busy in class and he's not listening, and there are various things that we can do to keep the child's attention. Agnello, the biggest question that people ask me is, why then can my child concentrate on PlayStation games for 2 hours?
But not on studies.
Without being disrupted or interrupted. But when it comes to his book, he can't sit for 5 minutes. The answer is simple. Computer games are what? Visual pictures, right? And there's a lot of things happening all the time. There you've got 2 or 3 characters busy. You've got them moving and jumping and the control even. There's like so many buttons to press. It's this side, that side, up and down, left and right. And the kids do it. They're amazing. Have you watched them?
Yep,
They're like absolutely amazing. Now the ADHD brain is visual. More visual than auditory.
Okay.
So the child learns by pictures.
Okay.
And by variety. So you can understand that that game is constantly stimulating the child's brain. And that's how they learn best. And that's why they can concentrate.
Okay.
A book and a teacher is not very interesting. And it doesn't vary, it's the same. And most of the time the teachers are in monotone. So those are the two big distinctions that I think will really make it clear for people. And there are various things that we can do in the classroom and at home to bring some creativity in and variety in, and to distinguish whether the child is actually left brain or right brain orientated, and then teach the child according to that. And that alone makes a big difference.
Wow, that sounds interesting. I'm sure every parent would be interested in what Leila is speaking about. And I'm sure this is a very interesting subject, though many people don't know about it. But I'm sure, what is the ratio according to you, Leila? How many children, most of the parents don't know that their child is ADHD. So what are the symptoms to identify ADHD?
In the classroom, normally the children are picked up ADHD from the age of 6 or 7 when they first go to school.
Okay.
And I don't know what the age of school going is for you in India.
It's almost 3.5 years.
Okay, but
It
normally
starts from playgroup.
they normally pick it up around 5, 6.
Okay.
But I think every parent will know my child is very busy and he's not like the brothers, a bit calmer. Hyperactivity is the one aspect, that's the ADHD, so the H stands for hyperactive. And then you also get the child that's inattentive, so he'd be the daydreamer. So this child would either be sitting in class and not paying attention and daydreaming away, looking out the window and not be present.
Okay.
So that's the inattentive. The one that's hyperactive can't sit still. The fingers will be fidgeting, the legs will be moving, they will be moving in their seat, they will be playing with the books, they will jump up out of their seat without asking. So those kind of things, and it's really easy to pick up. And it's normally like a child from 0 to 3, 0 to 4 would be normally hyperactive, but you would know that that child is constantly, from the morning to the night, non-stop. So the difference between a child that's just hyperactive for the day and who has ADHD is if that child does it each and every single day, it's likely it's ADHD. If the child does it maybe once, 2 or 3 times a week with periods of quiet and rest in between, chances are it's just because of food.
Okay.
And
For some
sugar
other
intake.
reasons. For some other reasons. Okay.
Or it could be a milder form of ADHD.
Okay.
But you would pick up that this child is a little bit busier than normal. And of course diet plays a big role. You have to look at what you eat and what you feed the children.
Okay.
And if the parents think their child might be hyperactive, what they can do is change the diet for 2 weeks. No sugary drinks, no sweets, and no high content sugar foods, and see if the behavior changes. If the behavior changes, you know it's only the food and the sweets. If the behavior doesn't change significantly, but there's a little change but not too significant, there's still hyperactivity, then the chances are that it is ADHD.
Oh wow, fantastic. That sounds interesting, and I think this is too short a time to get into the depth of the subject, but I'm sure we'll be seeing Leila in India very soon in Mumbai, where we can have some sessions, interactive sessions with her, and also some articles about her in the newspapers, in the local newspapers. And of course, the book also will be available in Mumbai as well, along with the CDs that she has done. You can hear the lovely sea waves, the sound of the sea waves behind us as the ship is cruising towards Korea. And I'm sure these wise words of wisdom will make a difference, and each one of you who has seen this video